here we're gonna do my basic hack, just 4 colors. So I'm starting with my brightening shade, putting that under my eyes on the inner eye and the outer eyes. I'm also gonna put that on the top of my nose, and I do like to bring that down a little bit on the sides of my nose. It just helps cover up some redness and brightens up that whole area. Now I'm just putting it up above on my forehead, between my brows, and just slightly above my brows, kind of wherever the sun hits is a great spot to put that brightening shade. So just swiping upwards, always gentle swipes, and under the eyes you just want to kind of tap it in a little bit. You don't want too much product under your eyes. Now I'm tapping into my contour, which I'm actually using a color correcting contour, so it's very, very light in terms of a contour color. It's typically not one we would match as a contour color, but I'm just kind of doing a light, natural look today. So right now I'm covering up those red spots that you can see. I'm just tapping on that contour on those just to give a little bit of color correction. And when I think that's good, I'm going to take my brush, and I'm using the buff brush for this application. So I'm using the big end of the buff brush and just kind of tapping that contour in, as it is a thicker consistency. Now I'm going to start adding it in as my actual contour. Oh, I'm still doing a little color correcting. Found this guy. He wants a little bit of shading. All right, now we're pressing in and we're doing those cheekbones. So kind of going right on the cheekbone. And then I'm doing the sides of the nose. That's gonna thin the look of my nose, and the tip. Then I'm doing the outside of my face. So this is where we naturally have shadows. So I'm doing the top of my forehead, and I'm kind of blending as I go. This is a light shade, as I mentioned, so not a lot of blending is required. Then I'm just doing my jawline and one last little blend. Taking a look, once I'm happy with that, I'm gonna go into my main highlight shade. This is like your typical foundation shade. So I am just lightly, adding a little bit of color and tapping that in with a slight blend motion. Doing my forehead, so I'm basically doing anywhere that I haven't put other colors other than the color corrector that I used. So I'm filling in essentially where a man's beard would be at the moment, plus a little bit towards my eyes where I put my brightening shade. I'm putting a little on my eyes as I just have a little bit of coloring on my eyelids, so I'm just hiding that a little bit. Now going and doing where my man's beard would be, so just my chin right below that contour on my cheek, and I will go and do above as well and make sure that's all nicely blended. So just doing above my cheeks now and a little below, making sure that's all blended. Get the sides of my nose. Perfect. It's looking good. Almost done. It's so easy. So this brush is great for a fuller coverage look. So I am sitting in natural light doing this, and so it's a little bit easier to look in the palette, but all of our palettes do have a nice little mirror compact in them. So this is the blush and bronzer brush. It's awesome for just blending things out. If you use it as a main brush for your makeup, it'll actually give you a lighter coverage look, which is really nice, but I love using it as a... And oh, I switched my brush again. So here is the 3D brush, we call it, and I'm using Bella Bronzer on my cheeks right now. So as you've seen, you just need a tiny, tiny bit of product on that brush or on your finger, and then it just blends out beautifully. So just doing nice little taps and small swipes. Circular motion is what I find works nicely. And then I'm adding a little bit of that onto my forehead and just kind of around, just to give me a little bit of a bronzed glow. It's all personal preference. Add it to your nose, add it wherever you like. I'm gonna add it all over my face, down my neck, just to give, a nice kind of glowy, summery feel. Spring's in the air, so time to make it feel like it. There we go. So just doing around my sides, and I didn't add any product to that side of the brush, but I'm just kind of doing a clean clean cheekbone look. So just taking that soft end of the blush bronzer brush and adding a little bronzer to my throat, and then just giving that a nice little blend out. That just helps because my neck is so light in comparison to the rest of my face. And sorry if you can hear my dogs barking, guarding the yard. And now they're in the video, they're hanging out with me. So here's a lip and cheek color that I'm using. It's called Frenchie. It's gorgeous. It's kind of a peachy pink. Adding that on my lips and then on my cheeks with the 3D brush here on my cheeks. And oh, a confetti illuminator. This is a limited edition, and it's just a nice cream-based sparkly gold color. I just add it wherever I want to kind of add a little shine, which for me is pretty much all over.